This is a video response to all that are currently trying to break free out of this matrix without having to be dragged within other people's BS 24/7, although that's bound to happen, talking from experience right now. I see so many of you going, oh yeah, well, I'm not an evil wisher, or I'm not one for wishing bad on people, or this, that, and the other. These people do not deserve your well-wishing abilities. If they are hating you and persecuting you for clearly supporting the good works within another individual despite their bad choices and poor decisions, if they choose to hate and persecute you for that, then you're well within your right to mirror back everything that they throw your way, up to the point where they can't even bear to be around you anymore, let alone challenge you, because you're too much. You are shining too much light within their presence. That is exactly what you were doing. So to any of you, like I said, that are currently trying to break out of this matrix, full of degeneracy and reprobates and only God knows what else, I'm a firm believer in doing unto those as they would do unto you. If someone is hating and persecuting me, what do you think I'm going to pat them on the back and give them a thumbs up? No. You're out your minds if you think that. I'm clearly going to treat them the same exact way, whether they like it or not. And ironically, this is where it gets humorous. They can't handle it. Oh God, they can't handle it. They cry quite literally under the littlest of pressure applied to them. They fold like a wet paper straw, unlike us, despite what they throw our way, despite what they plant inside of here, or attempt to plant inside of here and in here. There is nothing that you morons, you reprobates and hypocrites can do to actually kill a soul. You might be able to slow our progress down to some extent, but you best believe when we take that leap of faith, we are going to have left every single one of you behind after we are raptured. And you are the ones going to be left crying like the weasels, like the weak ass, immature kindergartens you really are. Us realists, on the other hand, no. Funnily enough, we can take whatever comes our way, because like I said, we'll just mirror it 24/7, and with such a brute force, we're going to leave every single one of you look an absolute fool. We're going to leave every single one of you repeating the same old nonsense as one another, laughing at the very expense of those of you that think are actually doing the will of God, when in actuality, you are doing the devil's work. You are doing his unfruitful works by projecting hate, insecurity, and only God knows what else onto us, even sin for that matter, in the attempt to try and destroy us, to hide the fact that you don't have a life going for yourself, because you're weak as piss, and you have no structure, and you cry every time a realist walks into the room, strolling around as if he owns the place. You cry. That's how brittle you really are. So much for the big I am, type of approach, eh, people? Please, spare me the bullshit. What, you think that I've not once put on this front before in the past, thinking that, I was actually, in fact, accomplishing real friendships and real connections through people by putting on this said approach? Or better yet, did you think that I actually succeeded in living the life that I really wanted by taking that same approach? No. As a matter of fact, I wasted too much time trying to be someone that I'm not, to fit into a system that is deliberately constructed as well as designed, not fit for human purpose. And I don't care who you are. You could be, the small percentage within the House of Commons and all, This goes for everyone. Which is why I took the golden ticket out. I took the golden ticket to break free out of this matrix, like many of us are at the minute. But it's you kindergartens, like I said, that are too quick enough to actually hate on those for their bad choices and poor decisions in life, without having to see the good that they've actually done, because you're spiritually blinded. You are spiritually dead. Technically speaking, you are dead. You don't have a soul. You laugh and joke about it now, but when it catches up to you, it's a whole other ball game, innit? You go from this laughy and jokey person to crying like a little bitch when the same pressure is applied to you. Now, doesn't that bring music to my ears? Knowing that there is not one bad deed that any of you inflict upon us that goes left unpunished. Not one. Just like the good deeds within people, assuming of course they're not of a self-righteous, filthy, ragged work of self, They get blessed, they get rewarded. Spiritually and psychologically, that is. Whereas you guys, on the other hand, that continuously project your own brokenness, your own pride and ego onto us to try and kill us, to make yourselves feel better, you won't know what it takes to actually make the right sacrifices in life in order to get off your degenerative little asses and make something for yourself. I'm taking full control of my finances. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to say how much I have, but I'm quite literally rolling in money right now. And yet, I'm going to be rolling even further in money. And how do you think I got my control and authority back over my finances? By using the law against those involved within a good way, of course. I wasn't prideful. I wasn't egotistical. See, this is what I don't understand about people. They're quick enough to hate and bash and find any tiny little flaw they can within another person without seeing the good. But yet, they have the same power and authority to not only break free out of this matrix, but rather to live the life that clearly elevates them and, lifts them up and above and beyond. See, me, I don't care, like I said, how challenging or how difficult my life gets. I don't even care how many times people are sent within my path to spiritually and psychologically steal from me that clearly haven't put in the work. I don't even care how many times I'm knocked on my ass spiritually and psychologically, because you best believe I will get back up and I am going to tear the living shit out of anyone that even looks at me within a narcissistic way, that even fake smiles at me within a narcissistic way. And then I'm going to give you that psychopathic, eyes cold death stare. As if to say, yeah, I know what's up. And what? What are you going to do, you weak ass clown? You're not going to do jack. I'll tell you why you're not going to do jack. Because your words, your threats, your persecution, it's all empty words. They're empty threats. There is no truth to any of them. Until you have the big balls of steel to put a real gun to my head and pull the trigger, I'm going to keep on, like I said, exposing you, bringing you to light. Until there is nothing left of your pride and ego and your so-called life that you're living. And then you're going to be left imprisoned, trapped and enslaved within your own minds, thinking of me, the realist. You know, the golden ticket that you threw under the bus, thinking that you were doing the will of God, laughing and joking at our expense, you know, by taking us for granted. You lose, we win. So you can keep this fake shenanigans up all you want, people, like I said, because at the end of the day, there is not one bad deed, like I said, that goes left unpunished. You are not only exposing yourselves without even realizing it, but we're also exposing you for what you really are. And that is, you're weak as piss, you don't have a backbone, and you go off of the opinions, the validation, the approval, and only God knows what else of other people. In other words, you are spiritually blinded to actually, in fact, believe everything that our social media outlets, our press, advertisements, and only God knows what else publish about another person that clearly went against the matrix and exposed it for what it really is, once again, despite their poor decisions and their bad choices. See, I'm one for working with those that are willing to put their pride and ego aside and acknowledge their mistakes. That are willing to actually, in fact, hearken onto this voice of truth, this voice of reason. As a matter of fact, you best believe that I would quite literally pour out the Holy Spirit over them. And I will scrub their conscience and their heart clean right there and then. Without a shred of shame, doubt, or anything else for that matter. Because they have earned it by acknowledging what is really going on within today's world. They have earned it by taking that step that many of you can't even take, which is clearly identifying yourself as your own public enemy number one. They have earned it by admitting their mistakes, while each and every one of you hide your mistakes, your poor choices and poor decisions, without bringing them to light by projecting them onto others that clearly have good interests when involving, you know, the spiritual and psychological well-being of our planet. As a matter of fact, like I said, I would go out of my way and break a backbone to support these people, while continuously and ruthlessly mirroring all of the hate and persecution that you throw my way, and within such a brute force manner that guaranteed your feelings and emotions are going to get hurt later on. Because, like I said, you're weak as piss. You don't have a backbone, and you don't have a leg to stand on when trying to challenge us with your nonsense. How about that then? End of discussion and cheers.